Give your life real meaning. How? I thought that was the answer I was receiving when I became one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Hello, YouTube. It's my turn to start telling my story. I am a former Jehovah's Witness, and I left the organization 2 months ago. So I'm on the road to really having a life full of meaning. Talking to a webcam is new to me, so sorry if it's hard for me to maintain eye contact. Well, I was baptized 16 years ago. I was 17 at the time. I was not raised a Jehovah's Witness. I became one on my own. I like the flavor of the Kool-Aid. I'm 33 years old now, so for 16 years, yes, I gave my really good years, to the organization, and I resent it. I'm so angry over that. So part of the reason why I'm making these videos to release, because it is really frustrating to have thought that I was giving myself to everything that was true and that was right, and all along it was a lie. If any Jehovah's Witness is disobediently watching this, it's a lie. You're ready to start defending and come up with all your programmed answers. It is a lie. One, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Salvation does not come from sticking to the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society organization. It doesn't. And I'm not going to get into doctrine. I might do another video on that later. Right now, this is just about my feelings and what I experienced as a Jehovah's Witness, what it's like recovering from having been under mind control for 16 years. My husband and children are going to the Kingdom Home. I have an 8 and a 2-year-old, and they go with their loyal JW dad to the meetings. And that's not easy, because right now, in the stage of grief where there's a lot of anger, so I've decided to do something healthy and just really, and talk to others about it, because I can't talk to my best friend about my feelings anymore, because he's got to go like this in regards to anything that's against the organization. He was well trained. He was born in, so it's going to be harder for him to realize it's not true and to let it go if he ever chooses to. That's his decision. That's the path he's got to choose. I don't even know where to start. Okay, well, let me tell you why I decided to leave, why I risked losing my family, and why everyone who I've ever loved dearly as a friend can no longer speak to me. They have to shun me now. I left because I realized, like I mentioned earlier, that it is not the true organization. It is not the one true religion. Jesus said he was the way, the truth, and the life. He said that all authority had been given him in heaven and on earth, not he had authority in heaven and was giving it to the organization or the governing body on earth. The term governing body is a legal term. It's not at all biblical. And then Acts 1:8, you must be witnesses, you will be witnesses of me to the most distant part of the earth. He said, why didn't Rutherford, when he was coming up with the name, why didn't he come up with Jesus Witnesses, Christian Witnesses, Witnesses for Jesus? Because everything that Jesus did was to replace the law. And if he said that you will be witnesses of me, then why did he choose the path that showed they are true Christians? Well, you know what? Keep searching YouTube. It'll give you explanations as to why there was such a focus on the God of the Hebrew Scriptures and the focus on the name Jehovah, instead of really focusing on the role that God, the Jehovah God, had given Jesus Christ in the Christian congregation. So there was that. I came to realize that on my own, without the help of so-called apostate websites, through my own personal study of the Bible and really starting to put all the pieces together, the doctrine, I realized it's a farce. And it was like, it took me 16 years. And I'll have another video talking about why it took me so long. Because for a lot of the time that I was in, I went brain dead. You know, when I started as a witness, I was on fire. You know, I auxiliary pioneered right as soon as I got out of the water. I filled out my auxiliary pioneer application. I regular pioneered a year later. I went to Bethel a year after that, and I served in a foreign language congregation. My greatest desire was to serve in a foreign country, and I wanted the full-time ministry so much so I wanted to live up to the ideal publisher that I even resented the birth of my child. Yes, it's horrible. You know, it's horrible when I think about that now. I resented her because I had a hard time balancing the schedule and balancing motherhood and the chronic issues with depression, which I'll get into that on another video. And it was hard for me to full-time pioneer and be a mom and take care of things. I couldn't do it, and I flogged myself regularly because of that. And anybody who's disobediently watching will say, well, that's your fault. That's you. The watchtower, you know, the slave tells us to, Jehovah wants your best. He doesn't ask for martyrs. Well, you know what? Subliminally, that's what they're saying. They want you to give your all. They want you to just be focused on being the super duper pioneer, you know. And the pictures are set up in such a way to make you feel bad. You know, just like they talk about fashion magazines affecting your subconscious. The magazines do the exact same thing. They do the exact same thing. You know, when do you see pioneers in these magazines that look like the pioneers in your congregations? You know, tell me that. And I know that a lot of these families are staged because I served at Bethel with a lot of these people. These people don't have kids. I'll find it for another video. There's a family where that sister who's posing as a mom, she told me she can't really stand kids. And I couldn't believe it when she was in a watchtower being featured as a mother. It's staged. It's all part of propaganda. That was hurtful. To realize that I was being kept loyal through methods of mind control and propaganda techniques. Sickening. Another reason why I left was because the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society was affiliated with the United Nations as an NGO, non-governmental organization. And any NGO is supposed to uphold the charter and purposes of the United Nations. You don't believe me? I dare you. Go to jwfacts.org. It used to be on the United Nations website itself, but they've taken it down from there. But jwfacts.org has a copy of the letter that the United Nations wrote acknowledging the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society support as an NGO. That's trifling. It was hard to realize that because the United Nations is supposed to be the beast, the wild beast, and any religion that affiliates with the wild beast is part of Babylon the Great, you know, the symbolic whore from Revelation. Meanwhile, Watchtower spread its legs for a library card because they claimed they didn't really understand what it meant to sign the paperwork. They thought they were just signing up for a library card. Yeah, right. Okay? Like I said, jwfacts.org. You'll get more information on the Watchtower UN affiliation. You know, they only cut off their association with the United Nations when the Guardian newspaper of London exposed it. And you can find, that article is still available online. You know, you can no longer find the link to the United Nations, but the Guardian paper, the one that started the exposure, is still available online. Then there is the child molestation issues within the organization. It's sickening. You know, they're pointing the finger at the Catholic Church and making fun of the Catholic Church, when meanwhile their policies are abusive towards the victims and their families, and end up protecting the pedophiles. You know, my donations went towards a $13 million payout, nearly $13 million, in regards to a court case against the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. That was maddening. It was so sickening. You know, I am a victim of child molestation before I became a Jehovah's Witness, and to realize that the organization I held so dear, has no regard for people whose trust has been violated. I couldn't support it. Go to silentlambs.org or watchtowerdocuments.org, and in Watchtower Documents you'll see secrets of pedophilia. She's got the court documents on there as well as comments to help explain what everything meant. So watchtowerdocuments.org, secrets of pedophilia, or silentlambs.org for more information. And just check out my page. There are other videos there. We are not ravenous wolves, mentally diseased people. We are persons who care about you, who care about our family who's still trapped. And yes, many of us really want to see the Watchtower organization go down because they've been lying for so long, and they violated a trust, a sacred trust. They put themselves in a place they had no right being in as God's so-called mouthpiece. But you know what? Everybody gets their day. I believe that soon, their karma is going to come back to bite them. So, talk to you soon. Bye.